Hi guys, my name is Hiei. I'm a Terran player for O Gaming Academy, and I've been asking you guys to make some requests on what you guys would like me to to see me talk about. And the two things that have kind of stuck out are Bio versus Mech in TvT when we're the Bio player, and Mech versus Bio when we're the Meching player. So I'm gonna do the Bio video right now, and then the next video that I do will be Mech versus Bio. So we'll hop into this replay. To start off with, when we're the Bio player versus Mech, it feels a lot like, and it reminds me a lot of TvP, when Protoss players are so gas intensive and Mech players are so gas intensive, and the historically the best way we can keep a Mech player and a Protoss player small is when we deny their third base. And so how can we do that? Same ways that we can do it against Protoss. Being aggressive early and often, posturing in this kind of area, not necessarily looking to take a fight, but just making him uncomfortable and, pressuring him, and also trading our cheap mineral-heavy units for his, expensive gas-heavy units. So, we're gonna, in this game, we're gonna try and do that, and it's not gonna work at all. This guy, he's actually relatively good. I've played him a couple times before, and, he just turtles up really well and just takes his third very slowly and methodically, and does a decent job of just not dying to our bio pressure. So what do we do when that bio pressure doesn't doesn't work at all? And we'll talk about that and just transitions and what we need to do as the bio player to not die to the ultimate scary 200-200 push. So we go for 12-14 Reaper. Like I said, I played this guy before, and the first time I played him, he opened up like CC first, and so I was kind of metagaming him a little bit. This was a ladder game, so we open up with a Reaper heavy build, and then just transition into Bio. Our Reapers do pretty good damage. We scout him. His Hellion does come out and shoo us away. But we're just kind of getting... we added on, our macro kind of slipped, so we just added on more barracks when we could. Try and scout. Gonna see his third. So we load up for a drop. He scouts it coming, and he's already got turrets up. He's got some tanks ready. We're killing some of. I think we get all three of these tanks actually. And we get a fourth. Nice. So that trade right there was actually really good. We killed 4 tanks for a double drop, which I think was pretty good. What we do now, this next move though that we do is really not good. We kind of try. I think this was meant to be a double drop into his main or into his natural. Oh no, just right on top of his army. So this right there, that was the epitome of what not to do against Mech. You never want to try and take a taking a heads-up fight when you're Bio versus a bunch of tanks is never gonna work out. Even though he had no anti-air and we tried dropping on top of him, we just kind of got rolled pretty badly. But he's he could have taken his third relatively easily right now, but it's kind of far away though, so he has to float all the way over. But he does a good job. He's not really leaving himself open to a whole lot. We do send another really big drop over here. And, it forces him to lift, but doesn't do any real direct damage. I mean, we did a little bit more damage, but nothing too substantial. We take our own third. So, I think right here. Okay, so here's kind of where I wanted to stop and talk. When I was talking earlier about how, all of our aggression at this point has not really done anything. He's still got his big tank count, a lot of Hellbats, and he's ahead of us by 10 supply, which you don't want to be in this position where you're behind in supply as a Bio player. So what did we do back at home? I'm gonna kind of back up to around here. We'll pause. So at this point right now, we're being annoying, and we're kind of realizing that our aggression isn't really working, and that he's kind of stabilizing with a mech-based unit composition with a lot of tanks. So when we don't get anything done with our bio. In my experience, the best direction to go from here is into sort of a mech composition ourselves. Because when you're a meching player, you have two kinds of units. You have your gas-heavy units, which is your tanks and your Thors and your Vikings and what have you, and your mineral-heavy units, which are kind of your cannon fodder. We're doing kind of the same thing, but our mineral-heavy units, instead of being the Hellions and Hellbats like our mech buddy has, is just going to be our bio. So we're kind of going into a very tank-heavy composition going into the mid-game. So we add on these two more factories. We are going to be behind in tank count, but we're going to have a mobility advantage. And this is also just kind of to keep us from dying. From him just kind of, because right now he could probably move across the map with us and just kind of kill us. But you know, with a higher tank count coming, we're going to be doing better. And so when going into the late game, when you have that big, you know, when he has the big, you know, oh, look at all my tanks and look at all my Hellbats, trying to kill that with Marine Marauder Medevac just does, with, you know, tanks sprinkled in, just doesn't really work. So we need to tech out. We need to continue to tech into ultimately Sky, which in my opinion is the best unit composition in the game. In any matchup, just Viking, Raven, BC. And so that's kind of what we're going to do. And there's a lot of different ways that we can go Sky. You know, you can go very, very Raven heavy. You can go, you know, a lot of Vikings and battle cruisers. You can go Viking Raven, or just mass battle cruiser. What ultimately makes that decision on what kind of composition we're going to have with our Sky is based on what he's building. We can look at his army right now and see he's got. Let's actually look at his unit count. His anti-air is 1 Widowmine and 1 Viking. So all of that other supply is based in these ground units. So we need to do a lot of damage to the ground, not so much to the air. So we're gonna need a lot of battle cruisers to handle this. If he had a higher Viking count, we would need more Vikings and more Ravens, and just as few battle cruisers as we could get. You know, you'd still want 4 or 5. But something against this, we're going to need 7 or 8 or, you know, even more than that. So he's hit his max, so now he's starting to move out. He, you know, we reposition, and at this point we show that we have battle cruisers, and that does scare him away. He tried to take a base down here, and it didn't really work. So all this, what we're kind of doing at this point now is we're no longer a bio player. We are now a Sky player with tank support. The tanks are more to the tanks are just kind of there to keep his mech army, his, you know, Hellbats and tanks, from just kind of running past our BCs. So it's kind of like, well, you can't, like, he could run under this, you know, under all of our air and into all these tanks, but he's going to take a lot of damage. So meanwhile, with the bio that we do have, we're just being as annoying as we can with this, and just keeping him as far away from getting from transitioning into Sky, his own Sky. So we kill some stuff, not really anything. He does a run by that doesn't really do a whole lot. So now we're just basically it's just us playing the max out game. We're mixing in Thors as well. Just because Thors are good against a lot of tanks and Hellbats. I'm going to slow this down just a smidgen. When do we add on more CCs? Whenever we have money. You know, we have still a lot of money. Having a big bank in a situation like this is okay, because it's so positionally based. A lot of the times you can be in a position where it's like, well, I'm mined out, and you know, I can't take another base, and you know, I've spent all my money on infrastructure, so having a bank like this is okay. This late in the game, because it's so much about what kind of army you have, and not so much about remaxing with it. So we're still just, all this while, we're still adding in bio, just to run by bases like this, and run by bases like this. We're not doing it right now, but we will eventually. And this base should be a PF, but it's not, so we're going to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, we're just right now just kind of mirroring him, because we know that since we have such a massive sky advantage with all of our BCs, and I thought we had more Vikings than this, but whatever. We now have we have a much better army than he does right now. So he can't he's trying to outposition us instead of taking a heads-up fight. So meanwhile, we kill his 4th base, and now he kind of gets stuck here because he knows we have all of these BCs and Ravens, and he has not a lot of Vikings, and I think we even have an upgrade advantage as far as almost, not quite actually. So we just hunter secret missile some of this stuff. I didn't have the Amato cannon at this point because I'm bad. So yeah, right now it's kind of stalemated. We actually send a couple units and a Thor over here to just be annoying, to kind of with this run by we're trying to instigate him to push into us, where it's, all right, we're in this base doing damage to you. You either have to go back and let us expand again, or push into us. And so it kind of creates a losing situation for him. This doesn't actually end up doing a whole lot, but it's doing enough. So we're right now scanning just to see, like, okay, are you going back or are you staying? And he kind of stays. I was expecting him to actually push into us at this point, but he never does. So we have, we're close to max with a scary number of BCs, so we just kind of walk in and just kill him. So yeah, that is how we that's how we beat Mech. We as a bio player, we try and be annoying as we can, but when we realize that our bio isn't really working, we then have to kind of transition into our tanks, and then use the fact that he's being Mech to expand early again to a 4th, and then eventually get into Sky. I'm fairly confident that Sky is the best way to end out this matchup, no matter if it's bio versus bio or Mech versus Mech or bio versus Mech or one of those variants. So I guess that's all for this video. I hope you all found it useful, and remember to recommend some more requests for what you guys want to see in the comments. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at HeASC2. You can follow my YouTube channel here by subscribing to the channel, or you can follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/HeASC2. So I hope you guys all found it useful, and I will see you guys next time.